Hello, welcome to Infinite Method, Strengthening You. Today we are going to learn the TRX suspension trainer. So I am going to teach you the basics first in this video, and then we'll do exercises and workouts after this. So it's really important to get these fundamentals of the TRX because you can do a lot of damage, you can get hurt, you can also waste a lot of time using momentum because it's really easy to do it incorrectly. So let's start with the strap. So you can order the strap through the TRX website. The difference between the one that's more towards 169 versus the one that's 129 is really just the handle. So the more expensive one has a rubber handle and the less expensive one has a foam handle. So if it's just for you, the foam handle will be fine and you can save that $40. If you're a trainer and you're going to be using them a lot and passing them around and all that, then it's wiser to get the rubber ones. All right, so the next thing is that the point of anchor needs to be about 9 feet, and then the strap start is 6 feet. So arrange for that. If you have a TRX X bracket, you can do on a ceiling, or I have an eye hook against my house. If you're not super heavy, you can do that. You can also use the door anchor, which will come in your kit. And if you do the door anchor, please use the door anchor in a door where it closes towards you, so that if you face it where if you have the door where it opens towards you, it's not secure. When you lean back on it, the door will open and you can go flying to the ground and really hurt yourself. So it's happened to a couple of my clients. So this is what I suggest. If you do not have a locking door, and it's a small door that even with a small lock, get a door stopper, a rubber door stopper, and put that in as a backup so that if your door releases, you at least have the stopper. So please make sure to take care of that situation and make sure everything is secure. And the best thing to do before you begin is pull your strap tightly and lean on it before you do any exercise. It's so important. It's really easy to fly back and break a wrist or a collarbone or a hip or something, God forbid. So please take care of that. Okay, the next thing is how to use the strap. So each strap has a buckle and a tab. So right now I'm in long strap, and so to get to short strap, you put your thumb on the metal buckle and you grab the tab and you use gravity to help you. So try not to do a pulling up because it's really hard. So go kind of easy, and the easier you glide it, the easier it is. If you try to make it a hard thing, then it just is hard. So just nice and easy. And then when you get both of your straps up, you'll see little markers on the tabs, and that's mid strap and high strap, and then it's long strap when it's down. So if you're mid strap or high strap and you want to go into long strap, you put both of your thumbs on both of the metal buckles and you pull them down together. And the reason why this is so much easier is because there's something called sawing, and because there's give in the strap, it saws. So if you're doing one at a time, the other side keeps giving, and then it just makes it really hard. So both together on the way down, one at a time going up. So mid strap is great for all of the facing the anchor exercises. And for the facing away from your anchor exercises, you want to go into long straps. So that's when I pulled these down. You can also grab the buckle from here and pull down as you're going away. All right, so when you're going back and forth like I am, just make sure that your strap isn't twisting on itself. So if you have a door anchor, it will do that. If you're on more of an eye hook, your carabiner will twist with you and you won't create such a twist situation. But it's always good to check your strap, make sure you have your handles even. All right, so that's the basics of the strap. Also, these coming down are the cradles. So the cradles are for your feet, and I'll show you the mat exercises. We'll use those later, but for now we're just going to use the handles. All right, so I'm going to go back to mid-strap because I'm going to teach you facing anchor first. All right, so warming up, we're going to start with a basic squat. So a basic squat is like this. Now I'm going to make these a little shorter to make sure that everybody can see me going back. So I like to do the squat where you're squatting back and the arms are stretching away. So you want to make sure you're far enough back that you get that nice pull here, warming up. Now if it's more of a workout squat, you'll be a little closer and it'll be less, but I like to really give it a good stretch on those. So the most important thing here is your feet are facing straight, about hip width apart, and you want to make sure the knees aren't going over the toes, and you want to also make sure the knees aren't going behind the heels, okay? So that's a basic there. Now the lunging is where it really becomes a problem. It seems like it wouldn't, but it does. So a lunge is stepping back. Notice how my knee is right over my heel and I'm using my quad to push up. Now it seems like, okay, duh, that's a basic lunge, especially if you've been working out. However, I swear 85% of the students do it incorrectly when the music and you get going. And what happens is as you get going, so say we're doing even like a kick. So they get going and the next thing you know, you're back here and this is here and this is here and all the weight is back here on this foot and you've taken it completely out of the muscle. And now you're using a bunch of other muscles and momentum. So it's really easy for that to happen. So make sure it looks like that every time. And you want to think of grabbing from here and your glute, and then you'll actually really burn pretty quickly. The great thing is if you have knee issues, you can use these to help you. So you can start really tiny like that. So for rehab, knee rehab, that's what I do with my clients. We start really tiny, you know, even here, like, so this is great because it enables you to do things you wouldn't be able to do without them. All right, so a lot of the other lunges are balancing. So you have your leg back and you're balancing. So this is where it's really easy to get back here again. So you want to make sure it's right over the leg. And what I like to do is for a balance lunge, I'm going to switch legs so you can really see. If you do it here, it's okay. You're still getting that quad. But I like to make sure you're getting other muscles while you're there, just as a bonus. So you're going to bring that leg and knee back and you'll lunge, and by doing that and keeping that there, you'll squeeze that glute and get the hamstring also. So you'll inhale down, exhale, push through the heel. All right, so that's your basic lunges and squats. So now I'm going to show you upper body. I'm going to let my dog go through and go into the house. All right, the life of training at home. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you the facing anchor upper body exercises. So facing anchor, you're in a plank. So the basics of the TRX is the straighter you are, the easier it is. The steeper you are, the harder it gets. So you want to make sure no matter what, you're keeping a plank. So if you watched my video 1, fundamental exercises, which I would go and watch if you haven't, it's that 12 o'clock scoop. It's the scoop towards your body that you want to keep, and that keeps your plank. So you'd exhale up. This is a basic high row, and then you'd inhale down. So see at the edge how I didn't let this drop? It's really important because as you get going faster, it's really easy to kind of want to do that and take your power from pushing like that, but you don't want to do that because the exercise is about this upper back. It's not about flinging your pelvis forward. So you want to squeeze, keep that plank, and back. And remember what I taught you in the fundamental video of weight training, that you want to keep those shoulders back and down. So you don't want to get back to here because then you're just rebuilding a muscle and using your rotator. So you want to keep the shoulders back and down, squeeze the shoulder blades together, inhale, exhale up. So the indicator of being too steep or not steep enough, that's very important. So the first one of not being steep enough, if you're not steep enough, when you bring yourself up, your strap's going to be really loose and you'll kind of come forward like I just did. So then you know, okay, I have a little more in me. However, if you get yourself too steep, you'll look like this. You'll arch your pelvis and it'll look like this in a big arch. And then you'll kind of plop down because you're not strong enough even to fight the gravity back. So that creates massive tension, momentum, back problems. So please, you know, take your time. In a class, it's easy to get competitive, but hopefully at home, you won't have that. So, you know, a lot of different exercises. We do curls, we do big flies, then we do big T flies. So all sorts of great stuff happen here, but it's all in that plank. All right, so now we're going to go to pulling the strap long, so both buckles pulling, and we're going to flip around. So this is called away from anchor. It's good to know facing anchor and away from anchor, because otherwise you'll get confused as to which direction you're facing. And when you try to do an exercise facing the wrong direction, it really is hard, and I've seen it many times. Excuse me. So, all right, so here's away from anchor. So it's the same concept of plank. You get massive, great core in the away from anchor when you're doing tricep and all these other things. So keep that. So we're going to start with a basic chest exercise. We're not going to go too steep. So I'm in my plank. I'm going to slowly drop down. My arms are going in a 90-degree angle. I go a little bit behind my body, and then I exhale and bring it back. So the important things that you want to do are pull in your heels down to the floor. So most of us have really tight Achilles tendons and they're short, and it's hard to do it. So pull the heels down as you're dropping and keep that scoop, and then exhale it. So inhale down, exhale up. So here's a couple exercises using that scoop. Be tricep and then long and away. These type of ones, if you have rotator issues, you want to be very careful with. So what you don't want to do is this and drop at the butt and break at the butt. So here another one would be breaking at the waist. So you want to make sure that you're always one piece every time. All right. So that's the main thing about that. There are some side ones like hip drop. And whenever you're doing a side one, you want to try to get as straight in line with your anchor as possible. And we do little drops. And when I do the class, we'll show you the basics of that. But the main basics are keeping your scoop and making sure you don't make it too hard, and making sure your lunges and squats don't cheat. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the basics of the mat work. And I'm not going to go deep into the exercises because when I teach the class, I use good cueing, and I'll make sure you do it correctly. So this is how you get into hamstring. You have your feet apart and your arms apart like a Christmas tree. You roll back and you bring up your heels and put both heels into the cradle at the same time and really get them onto your ankles. So you want to make sure that you're not too far away from your anchor, because that makes it harder. So especially if you're just getting started. So I like to make sure the handles are even, and you want to make sure when you get started, I should have said this first, that when you stand up, your cradle is at mid-calf. So for me, it's always on the longest because I'm not very tall, but if you're tall, you'll want to shorten your strap up and make sure the cradle lies mid-calf. If it's too low, especially when we turn around to do plank work, it'll get in your back, so you want to make sure that that's good. All right, so we're swaying to warm up. So the main thing with the hamstring work is your hands are at your side getting started. Over time, you'll build up to the arms here. Everything is done in a plank bridge. So you bridge up and you use your arms to help you when you're first getting started. So the basic moves are crunches, open, close leg, bicycle, and then bridging. And then I've added my own stuff, but we'll start with that basic. So when you first get started, if you have lower back issues, then you don't bridge. What you do is you push your feet down into the strap, and that will grab your hamstring. Remember to keep your feet flexed. With bicycle, it's really easy for the for the strap to saw. So how you avoid that is by pushing down evenly into the strap. And if you push down to the floor evenly in the strap, it will stay. And then when you're resting in between, you sway from side to side. So you'll know when you're ready to have your arms up because you won't need them. All right, we're gonna take that out, and I'm gonna show you how to get into plank. So you're gonna face your anchor, and you put your right toe in your left cradle, and then you cross your left leg over and put your left toe in your right cradle. So the leg that's crossing over, which is my left leg, I roll to the left. And when you do that, you end up right here. If you're flexible, you can also just put them on one at a time here, but it's a little easier to do it the way that I showed you. All right, so you want to make sure that you're not too far away from your anchor, but far enough that your feet will straighten without hitting your wall or door. If you have a glass door, be really careful. Those buckles can break things, and they can also hurt your face and stuff, so be careful with your buckles. Don't let them hit you. So if you're modifying, you'll modify your plank here. So your legs are swaying, it's really hard. You might think you're strong, and then you get on this, and you'll be very humbled, believe me. So if you're not modifying, you can try your plank here. Remember, don't let your plank get saggy. This is lower back problem. I like to say come a little higher than a normal plank, and then that way you know that it won't get into your back. So plank hold might be where you're gonna start, and just do plank hold until you get strong enough to do the exercises. I'll show you the basic exercises, and then we'll end the video there. So the basic exercises are crunches, open close leg, mountain climber, and pikes, crunches to the left and to the right, push-ups, that sort of thing. All right, and then we also go to the side and do side plank holds, which eventually turn in to this. Believe me, it took me months to get to that, and I was really fit. So when I first started TRX about 10 years ago, it was super humbling. As you can see, I'm already out of breath. All right, so that was the introduction to the TRX strap. And the next exercise I make will be a workout video, which will combine all of it together. Infinite Method TRX is very different from the TRX exercises and videos that you'll see out on the internet and on the website. I have rearranged mine. I have added a lot of glute ballet, balance work, combinations, and exercises that I've created on my own with my own method. And I also use extreme care in having perfect form and not cheating with momentum, which is a big, big problem with the TRX. The other thing I want to point out that I haven't really talked about in my fundamental exercises, but I did talk about in my way earlier videos when the coronavirus first started and I wasn't really organized for my channel, is the cardiovascular part of the TRX. TRX, like spinning or running, can get you anaerobic very quickly. So make sure you figure out your heart rate, which is 220 minus your age, and you take that number. If you're not very fit at all, you may be working at 65% of that number. And if you're fit, you can go up to 85% of that number, and then do intervals where you're out of breath. But the ultimate rule for aerobic, which is fat burning, healthy, where you want to be most of the time, you should be able to have a conversation or sing a song. If you are sweating, bright red, completely out of breath, and you do that for the whole 45 minutes or an hour, you have just gained fat, you have stressed your body, and you're never gonna get to where you're going. And I know that's the new trend of all these new exercises. Go, go, push, spin, be. So look it up, learn your science, and if you want a fit, tone, healthy body for years to come, then quit that crazy anaerobic nightmare that's so popular out there, because that will not work for you. All right, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel and share with your friends, and I will see you with the next TRX video. Take care, bye-bye.